the man of the moment, Jorge Ramos, joins us right now. And Jorge, you said in that piece you've never seen anything like this before, but is it what you were expecting given the disputes between Univision and Mr. Trump?
No, what I would expect is that I can ask a question as a journalist, because that's our responsibility, and I would expect Mr. Trump to answer honestly about what he really wants to do, because he hasn't given us the specifics. And I saw your show on Sunday, and you push him on how he's going to deport 11 million undocumented immigrants, and he didn't answer your question, and he didn't answer mine. What I didn't expect is to be thrown out of a press conference. Never in my life, and I've been a journalist more than 30 years, I've been thrown out of a press conference.
The tape shows that Mr. Trump looked over to the security guard before the guard came over to you. Do you think he was directing the security guard to take you out?
It is very clear with his body language that he was giving orders. And I did wait for my turn. You know how it is in those press conferences. Two reporters before me ask a question, and then I said, I have a question on immigration. He didn't say anything. I stood up, I started my question. He didn't like my question, and when he didn't like my question, then he motioned so the one security guard would come where I was, and then threw me out of the press conference.
So what did the guards say to you? What did they do, and what happened backstage?
I waited outside, and then my other colleagues also confronted Donald Trump, and somebody from his campaign came out of the room, told me if I wanted to come in and ask my question, and I did. Of course, I came all the way to Iowa to do that. Remember, I tried to have an interview with Donald Trump. He didn't allow me to have an interview. He published my cell phone, and that's what I wanted to do. So I came back and I asked those questions.
He eventually did take your questions at the press conference, as you say. Have you heard anything else from him or his team?
No, I didn't hear anything new. He has to explain how he wants to deport 11 million people. Can you imagine? How is he going to do that? Is he going to put people in stadiums? We have to denounce that he wants to deny citizenship to children being born here. They're citizens just like he is, and it is impossible to build a 1,900-mile wall between Mexico and the United States. So that's the kind of questions that I was asking Mr. Trump, and obviously he didn't give any.
You have pressed him very hard with those questions. You've also had some tough things to say about Mr. Trump. On CNN, you said he was the loudest voice of intolerance, division, and hatred right now in America. So how do you respond to some of your critics, like Sean Spicer, the chief strategist of the RNC, who says you're more advocate than journalist?
What I would say is that as journalists, you have to take a stand. I think the best journalism happens when you take a stand. And when it comes to racism, discrimination, corruption, public lies, dictatorships of human rights, as journalists, we are not only required, but we are forced to take a stand.
You think Mr. Trump will give you an interview now?
He didn't want to give me an interview before, but right after the interview, he said, we'll talk. So let's see if he keeps his promise. I'm not sure.
Jorge Ramos, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, George.